to a brand new episode of No Party Preference. My name is Josh. I'm here today with good buddy Adam.
Yes.
Today we're going to talk about, I don't know how long this is going to go, but I just want to talk about how it's okay. It's okay, everybody. Everything's okay. It's okay. It's acceptable to distrust the government, all right? To not trust the government. So we'll talk about that, what that is in a minute. But anyways, before we do, go to Game Rage Magazine on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, follow. Additionally, you can go to Game Rage Mag on Twitter/X. You can also follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram. Okay, so distrusting the government. What does it mean? There was a senator. At least I think he's a senator. I should probably have confirmed that before I fucking started. God damn it! Before I started talking about this, but there was a U.S. senator named Mike Lee who said, "You do not distrust the U.S. government enough." He just posted that on his Twitter account, right?
He just
did it. He just posted it just with no context whatsoever, right? Now,
based. It's
funny because his name is actually Base Mike Lee on that's his fucking his X handle or whatever. And it is very based and red pilled. All right, that's the most based opinion you can have. You do not distrust the government enough, man. And the scariest words you can ever hear in your fucking entire life: "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." All right, that's always gone haywire. That's always gone wrong for everybody in every fucking instance that it's ever happened in. And when it comes to, again, I hate how people pick and choose when they will not trust the government or whatever, right? Because the last 4 years we've had Biden, which obviously he was literally like that dude. What was that guy? Tony Valley or whatever.
Frankie Valli?
Yeah, Frankie Valli. They wheeled him out and fucking were just mimicking his movements to fucking make him do shit because he was probably already dead. Weekend at Bernie's, all right? Type situation. Everybody, all the Democrats, everybody that's a lefty was like, "Oh, yeah, this is great. We love this. We trust what he's saying. He's doing the right stuff." Yes, all the people on the right were like, "The fuck is this? What is this fucking geriatric fuck that can't even put a sentence together, forgets what he's doing, wanders off and is like, I got ice cream around here." Yes, okay, you're right. But now those same assholes, now it's flipped, right? Where all the people on the right are like, "Oh yes, we trust the government. Yes, we need it. We're gonna go along with everything because the government knows what's up. And now that our side is in charge, everything we want and possibly could imagine is gonna be happening." And now the left is like, "Oh, you shouldn't trust the government. What the fuck is this, right?" I never trust the government. It doesn't matter who's in charge, right?
Yeah.
And that's truly what I think the attitude most people should take towards the federal government, the state government, the local governments. You should not be trusting anything that they do.
Put all your faith in the trebuchet.
Yeah, the trebuchet or the fucking guillotine, perhaps. Ultra guillotine should have been the one who won the election this year. Did not happen. But you look at, even if at minimum you take things with that whole trust but verify, type of mentality. At bare minimum, you should be doing that to at least verify things and be like, again, it's like when Trump talks shit. Project 2025 comes out with all this shit, and then he goes, "Project 2025, I've never heard of him before. Don't even know who those guys are." And then it turns out that they basically wrote all of his fucking policies and shit. He definitely knows these fucking assholes. Sure, if you want to trust them, fine. But then at least verify what they're saying is true, and if it's not, then go "Hey man, what the fuck's up with that shit?" Now, again, most people are too stupid to fucking realize this, and this is where shit just starts going off the rails. Because now, I don't want to harp on quote unquote the situation that we're in now and going forward, because there's another episode that's going to follow this that's going to talk about the cyclical history that we're in with repeating itself of how shit has happened from back in the 30s. That's going to be the next episode. But with this episode, it is very much the citizen. I think it's the citizen's responsibility to question the fucking government. I don't think any citizen should just be like, "Yep, the government said it, I'm going on with it." Because there are many, many historical examples that have come. Now, granted, you don't know this at the time, but over the course of years, it comes out that like, oh yeah, this was bullshit, or this was like, oh yeah, we lied about this just to get, you know, into some shit. Pearl Harbor, right? Oh, they knew it was gonna happen and they just let it happen, and then we're like, cool, now we can go jump into World War II. Fucking the Iraq War in 2003, weapons of mass destruction. Oh, it turned out that there were never any fucking weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, but there was potential
for those
potential.
Yeah. Okay, potential. See,
yeah.
But that's different.
There's potential weapons.
There are.
You put the prefix or the prefix of that word and you get away with anything.
True, but the best part of that whole thing was Colin Powell, everybody that was saying this shit. Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction. It wasn't a potentially has.
We didn't mean today.
He has them.
We didn't mean today.
We didn't mean it today. He didn't say, oh, he
At
has
some
them.
point in the future, he could have them, and we're calling him on his shit right now.
Yeah, by saying he has them. Yeah, and in fact did not ever have them at all, or was never even close to fucking having them. And now you look, Hurricane Katrina. Oh yeah, we're gonna fucking help. Fuck no, they didn't. The government objectively made it probably worse. The whole situation in Hurricane Katrina. Plenty of fucking things that have happened throughout history. I do believe that whenever the major fucking 9 point whatever earthquake hits us here in Southern California, the government's this whole region, we're gonna have to leave. It's just gonna be fucked because the government will never be able to fix this shit at the rate that they do things, and they are definitely not gonna help, and they're definitely gonna make shit worse. So I think that if you apply this theory, this distrust of the government, if you at least question these things at your local city council, county board of supervisors, if you apply this to like your state legislature, your state governors, and you apply the same thing to your state House of Representatives or your state representative and your state senator, all the way to the president, I think that we could, you know, kind of end this like cult of personality that exists with like political figures, and kind of like how I've kind of said in the past about romanticizing them and basically making these political career politicians turned into like kind of like American version of royalty at this point. Because they're supposed to be us, right? They're supposed to be just regular guys or women, regular people that are, okay, cool, you're doing this for a little bit. And I think we should just be inherently distrustful of anyone who like makes politics their career, just because. Why are you doing that? What's going on here? Yeah, sure, you make okay money, you make 100 and something grand a year, which is most than fucking what most of us make, to be honest with you. But yet you're all somehow multimillionaires. That's very strange. I wonder how that happens. So, with all the bullshit that goes on, I think everybody should question everything, and we probably wouldn't end up in the fucking horrific situation that we're going to end up in the next 10 years, probably, if we would have just done that. If we would have just continued questioning things and, like, actually calling out our politicians on shit. And I kind of think that this started to happen back maybe in, like, the Clinton era. I think that was the first guy in a while who had come in and just really, like, swooped everybody off their feet, was this charismatic figure, and... You know,
so was George Bush.
The first one, the senior,
the second one.
Yeah, that's what I think this started with Clinton. I think this whole kind of trend started.
Started with Clinton. I thought Clinton. You said.
Yeah, no, I think this is where it kind of started.
No, I think it started with maybe with like John F. Kennedy or.
Yeah, maybe he was like the progenitor or whatever, and then he got assassinated, and then after that they were all kind of like, let's not be personalities, let's just fucking be dull and dry.
If anybody, it would probably be Ronald Reagan. That maybe would be Reagan. Like the most pivotal, because I mean, the guy that was in Hollywood probably had no business running for president, that ran mostly on charisma, that genuinely fucked like everybody for the next 40 years with trickle-down economics and his tax plan. And
the war on drugs, he started that shit.
And the war on drugs, yeah.
Which, newsflash, drugs won that battle. Drugs won, America zero. Fucking.
Because now we have, corporations that don't pay any taxes, and that's kind of been the precedent for the last, 40 years. And at what point has it trickled down to us?
Never. It never trickled down. It trickled up. It stayed there. And now we're in this situation where we're 5 trillion dollars in debt or whatever.
Because nobody's paying taxes.
Yeah, no one's paying tax. Well,
other than us.
We're paying taxes, but you know what's fucked is we ain't got no money. Like, that's the problem.
Yeah.
We ain't got shit. We're paying like a couple thousand. We're paying $3,000-$4,000 a person, maybe more than that. Well, shit, I'll tell you right now. They've taken so far out of my paycheck, because it tells you on the little thing. They've taken $20,000 this year in 2024. 20 grand just in taxes.
Yeah,
okay?
That's your subscription to the U.S.
Yeah, that's my subscription to freedom, I guess, right? To Freedom Flicks. And
Freedom Flicks.
Yeah, and okay, cool, that's great, but guess what? The asshole who makes fucking $1 billion likely pays less taxes than I do because of all the write-offs and everything. I can't write shit off like that. So, like, how's that fucking help me out at all? But anyways, we shouldn't trust the government, all right? And we should just fucking question everything. That's my whole point in this little short episode. Question fucking everything. And I'm not saying this, and I know people are going to be like, it's because you don't like Trump. I don't like anybody. I don't like any of them. They're all a bunch of assholes, and I think they should all be fucking, trebucheted into another dimension. Right? That's what I think should happen.
That'd be one hell of a trebuchet.
Man, to another dimension is at the speed of light.
Yeah.
Just gone.
Yeah.
That's what I think should happen. And will it happen? Probably not, because all you assholes just fucking don't question. Nobody wants to question anything anymore. Or everybody wants to trust the government. I'm sure RFK's about to ban fucking everything we love. And
not raw milk.
Yeah, but we're only going to be drinking raw milk. I don't know if you've seen those memes of like the worm in his head or whatever. It's like that chanting from fucking Dune. It's like it's like the worm in RFK's head telling him to get rid of Coke and Red Bull and fucking replace it with like raw milk and like some other thing.
What is that worm? That sandworm that's famous? That guy with the hood. He's like, oh, it's so and so.
Oh yeah. I forget.
I don't remember the name of that.
Yeah. It's like, and everybody's saying like, the reason why he wants to ban chemicals is because the worm in his head wants to fucking like, that's what's stopping them from taking over people is because all the chemicals.
Yeah.
So like once the chemicals are banned, then the worms will take over and fucking be the new society.
He's very concerned about fluoride
in the water. Well, I mean, listen, he's friends with Alex Jones, and it makes the frogs gay. All right, like I mean, you can't fight wars with gay frogs. All right, let me just tell you that right now. So
I don't know, man. I think in some cases the government needs to exist because otherwise you end up with situations where oil companies spill fucking heaps of oil in water, or some chemical plant that ends up spilling water, chemicals in the water, and who's going to hold those guys responsible?
True, but when the people holding them accountable are just maybe fining them hundreds of $1 million and then
letting them walk away with scotch,
and then that $hundreds of $1 million of fine that we're not actually using it to clean up the shit. We're using it to give it to Lockheed to make a new fucking stealth bomber. All right, like that's what we're doing with that
I suppose.
So at some point, it's kind of like, well, what's the point of this? Like, fuck, might as well just let it be a free for all. Might as well go back to fucking anarchy. Any rules, the law is what I make of it. And if I don't like something you say, well, that's cool. You can say what you want, but I'm going to shoot you. Like,
all right, how about public roads then? At the very least, like public roads. I mean, I know they're not maintained well, but shit, man, nobody would end up fucking anywhere if we didn't have some type of uniform order.
Yeah, road system, I guess.
Nobody would end up anywhere because it'd be all left to the communities themselves for us to travel to other areas. I mean, that one's kind of fucking random, but
the only reason the freeway system exists is because of the federal government. For World War II, that was their whole thing. Was like, they need to be able to transport supplies that aren't via rail across the country. Like if something were to happen to the rail system, they needed like a redundant thing to like transport shit from coast to coast.
Yeah, I suppose.
So that's the whole reason they invented the freeways. That shit didn't exist before then.
Bridges.
Yeah, bridges. Fucking, So
I'm trying to find an argument against your.
It's hard.
Your
against my theory. Yeah,
you could say Social Security is one of those, but
that's going away.
Yeah, but then I mean nobody's paying shit into it, and also people, I think, were expecting to retire when maybe the original plan was for it to be just solely supplemental income as opposed to being your sole income
Yeah.
in retirement.
Yeah, well, that's what it was. Social Security was supposed to be enough to be your, like, you know, the majority of your retirement. Like, yeah, you could have a supplemental retirement plan from your job or whatever, but then jobs started not doing that anymore. And then Social Security basically started getting higher. It used to be that back when I think when we started paying into Social Security when we were 18 years old, almost 20 years ago now. When I was 18 years old when I started paying into Social Security. I think the retirement age was I think it was 62. You could collect at 62. Now I don't think you can collect until 65. And then I'm sure by the time we're close to the age of being able to collect it either won't exist or you got to wait till you're like 68 to fucking collect it.
Yeah.
And then, okay, cool. You just keep moving the fucking bar
further away. Yeah.
And then also, you know, get rid of fucking jobs because of AI and robots. There you go. Now what? Now nobody's paying into shit. And I mean, again, I don't know. It is what it is. But anyways, all right. I guess that's all I had. Do you have anything else to rant about on this one?
Now I was going to say vaguely the FDA, but then they can be bought.
That's true. They are bought in many cases. So
if these things that exist, these institutions that exist to maintain a moral and just society so that we don't get poisoned and shit and we don't end up dying, if they did their actual job, maybe we'd be more trusting of the government or that it was capable of functioning. But those were the few examples that I could think of.
Well, if you think about, why is the water out of the sink in Flint, Michigan? How come you can light it on fire?
Why is it still fucked? Yeah.
Well, how come that exists? The government's supposed to be in charge of that, right? Like, why is that a problem that has not been fixed yet? Still continues to not be fixed. I don't know. So yeah, you're right. If maybe they would do their jobs correctly, maybe we would be more trusting. But right now, no dice. No dice. So anyways. All right, well, that'll be the end of this episode. So if you want to go fucking follow us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Game Rage Magazine, Twitter /X Game Rage Mag. You can follow Adam at All Gas, No Trash Official. And that'll be the end of it. Catch you guys on the next one.